you know, creating clothes at the Gap where everything is
affordable.
Yeah, under $100.
Yeah.
Like Old Navy prices.
Yeah.
But then having the Apple of design, the highest that we got designers that worked at Louis, we got designers that worked at Celine. So when I was really going on the waterproof bags, this is how God is. One of my favorite designers that works with us, like this girl is super cool. Like she walked in like a Vetements or Balenciaga show and everything. She's one of our designers. She worked on our season 8 show. She has the freshest references. And we were talking about these this bag, the idea of waterproof bags. And I'll just say right out back, when me and Virgil used to go and intern with Giuseppe Zanotti, and he was teaching us how to design shoes and everything, we would be in the airport, and we saw the shoe by Nike called the Roche.
Right.
And it was the number 2 selling shoe that Nike had. The number 1 is the Monarch, which is like the main dad shoe.
Yeah.
So, and this is before dad shoes became cool.
A thing.
So I looked at that Roche, and I said, I need to replace that shoe. And now when you go to the airport, you definitely see 350s, and you don't really see the Roche anymore.
Yeah.
So now when I'm talking about bags,
You about to replace the
I'm looking at, what's that we looking at over
that
there?
Louis bag.
That Louis duffel. I remember how the Louis duffel made me feel when I would go to Atlanta to work with Jermaine Dupri.
Yeah.
And there'd be somebody with like a throwback jersey,
Yeah.
a Rolex, a Louis duffel,
Yeah.
maybe a polo shirt,
Yeah.
some Jordans.
Yeah.
Man, I was just thinking, man, in my contract, in my Adidas contract, I definitely should be able to wear Jordans, man. You can't, Jordans need to be part of reparations. You can't tell a black man not to wear Jordans.
Not wear Jordans. That's hilarious. That's in our DNA.
Any deal, but you can wear Jordans. And also, you could wear your friends' clothes.
Yeah.
Also, that was all of this kind of divide and conquer thing.
Mine is better than yours.
Yeah, that's why I had to there was like this designer that we visited before named Walter Van Beirendonk, is a talented guy. And, he was coming out, had something to say about Virgil's last show. And what happens is a lot of times, like, I don't know if this is called Jim Crow, but in the media, with black people, we're always on our own. We can get to a place of success and we'll tear ourselves down. Virgil, you spent $50 on man. If y'all don't shut up,
Leave Virgil alone.
Bro, but all of us, you,
Yeah.
me, Virgil, anybody in that position, it's always about how we gonna tear each other down. So I came, I said, Walter, I can't even say, Walter, look at this African cubism right here. Now look at Picasso, the most famous artist in the world.
Right.
Do some look similar to you?
Right.
Picasso copied African cubism.
Right.
And that's what's been happening to black artists our entire life.
Our existence.
Our whole swag get knocked off.
From
now,
the beginning.
Virgil makes it out of the murder capital of the world to
Right.
the #1 fashion house in the world. And somebody got something to say?
Right.
What? It's just like, Virgil, when he went to Louis, that hurt me. That definitely.
Really? Tell me why.
Absolutely, bro. Because I was the Louis Vuitton Don.
You opened the door for
I
him.
know I opened the door, but then I wanted to be the Louis
But
Vuitton
that's the
Don.
thing. But you did what you did at Louis. You did what you did at Nike. You did what you did at Adidas. Now you at Gap.
Yeah, exactly. And someone from Gap, I said, man, it was always my dream. And he was like, he's like, Louis Vuitton was your life dream? I was like, no, look how God is. Actually, Gap was my dream because I was working at Gap.
You worked at Gap.
Getting fresh at the Gap, not being able to afford Abercrombie and getting polos off of layaway at TJ Maxx and Marshalls before I even knew what Louis Vuitton was. Before I knew the idea. I never heard the word high fashion.
Right.
We was just getting
fresh with polos and khakis.
Yeah, Jabot.
Yeah. Facts.
Cross colors,
Yeah.
Kanye,
Yeah.
Gap, whatever. So it's one of those ones where we got pulled in culturally by what Marc Jacobs was doing because he was tapping into our culture and connecting with us when he did the Millionaires with Pharrell, when he did these glasses called the Millionaires with Pharrell. And when he did the shoes with us, and it's funny how like non-competes, if you get these deals and they have non-competes, right? So God had a plan, right? There was no non-compete. High fashion was never in a competition with sportswear. So when my first shoes came, God had the Nike Yeezys and the Louis Vuittons.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you was the only one to have Louis and Nike at the same time, and both of the shoes was fresh.
Yeah. Yes, and I had a lot of Louis.
Yeah.
Right? And that's when they were upset. They were like, oh man, we didn't think of that. We had no idea that you were gonna have a Nike come out at the same time that your Louis Vuitton sneaker came out. So then they started putting these non-competes. And the funny thing is, I was talking to a gentleman that works at an ad agency, and he said that right when I went to the Gap, we don't say the Gap, it's Gap with no THE. So right when I went to Gap got put on the non-compete for everything.
Wow.
Instantly, boom.
We want it all.
This is now on everyone's non-compete list. So what I'm saying, so back to like when Virgil went to Louis, he had to break me down, bro. And this is what I love about me crying about my daughter. And this is what I love about people ridiculing me about it.
It's being vulnerable.
Because I need all that.
Yes, because he about to take it to another level
I need all that smoke. I need all that because I got a big head.
Yeah, and you need to hear that.
And I need to hear that.
But you use it as fuel.
It's a fuel, but also it is truly a humbling. Like people say, I feel closer to God when I'm at the top of a mountain. I feel closer to God when I'm on my knees talking to my children. The lower we get, the closer we get to God. We are earthbound creatures. We gravity bound. The fastest jet goes Mach 3. The fastest sled goes Mach 6.
Closer to the ground.
Yeah, when I did Coachella, we built this mountain, and then afterwards we tried to do like this mountain in this park in our backyard.
Yeah.
And Ray Romulus, who worked with us on Sunday service, said it sounded like we just had a Coachella hangover or something. Right. And then we took it and we took the mountain and we shaped it this way. Do you know what happened with the sound? Have you ever put an iPhone in a cup?
Yeah, it amplifies.
It amplifies.
Yeah.
So actually, for the fact that we got lower, our sound amplified. We are lower the more humble we are.
Yeah.
Because I'm walking around like, now what? Y'all said I'm crazy. Y'all said this. Y'all said that. Like, I got the Forbes list. I got this. I got that. And God was like, shut up.
Yeah.
It is about my son, Jesus Christ.
Right.
And it is about what I had given you. My son has died for you.
Right.
It's nothing that you can do more than this. Like, and me and Don C be arguing about this because he's Catholic. I'm like, man, I don't want to argue with none of my Christian brothers about acts. You know, like that's the whole thing. It's like Catholics are like these acts and you perform. And we be feeling like, man, yo, we got a special place in heaven, and it's certain sects of Christianity.
Denominations, there's 16,000 of them just in America.
Okay, boom. So and then some have multiple levels of heaven, and sometimes you think you do something good, and you're like, man, I know this right here, and it's like, bro, God had his son die.
Right.
God, you can't go, you can't, he's already paid the price. And we are living inside of his house. Life is a gift that he's given us. And to be in service is the greatest thing that we could do for ourselves, for each other, and for God. And there's studies on this. It's about 5 of these things. I can only name 2 of them. But your dopamines and your serotonin is like about 3 more of these. Yeah. And the studies are, when you talk about the happiest countries in the world, that you're happiest when you're giving.
When you're,
Okay. But not even for you.
That's how you find yourself.
Yeah, it say, let me not be in the way of me or in the way of blessings that God might have for me. Because if I hadn't have came and gave Virgil that hug at
the Louis,
God wouldn't have came back and blessed me.
Right.
With this opportunity. Because what I love about the opportunity at the Gap is this opportunity to be in service.
Right.
Because I remember being a 14-year-old that couldn't afford things.
Right.
So I was always interested in Costco,
Right.
Walmart.
Walmart was
because-
like Disneyland to us.
Yeah, because it's man, or Best Buy. I used to
Yeah.
be hanging by the flat screens,
Exactly.
DVDs, CDs.
Hoping they got one of the little video game joints that you can play for free.
Remember, you used to have to look at a CD and decide. You start looking at the track list, start
Yeah,
looking at
like,
the cover.
Dang, should I get this one or that one?
My dad would be like, "Man, you could pick one tape for the summer." I'm like, "Dad, I do music."